Omega-level mutants are incredibly potent in the Marvel Comics universe, yet these characters, surprisingly, don't quite reach that level of power. Rogue. While one might assume that a mutant capable of power absorption would be classified as Omega-level, several crucial factors prevent Rogue from joining this exclusive club. Firstly, Rogue can only absorb powers through physical contact, necessitating proximity to individuals like Magneto or Sunspot. Additionally, Rogue's possession of stolen powers is temporary, and the process inflicts harm upon the individuals from whom she borrows abilities. At best, Rogue teeters on the cusp of Omega-level mutant status. Her chances of achieving this designation might improve if she can extend the duration of borrowed powers without causing harm. Forge. In a world increasingly reliant on technology, one might assume that Forge, an often overlooked mutant technopath, would qualify as an Omega-level mutant. Forge possesses the power to comprehend all forms of technology but doesn't inherently have control over it. While he's a brilliant inventor, he still requires resources to execute certain tasks. He can't simply conjure up Gundams or Iron Man suits at will. Multiple Man. Jamie Madrox's abilities go beyond the simplicity of his name. While he can instantaneously duplicate himself, the complexity lies in his clone's potential to create further clones, each capable of developing independent personalities. However, there's a limitation preventing Multiple Man from achieving Omega-level status. Both he and his clones possess average physical attributes, comparable to an average man in terms of strength, speed, and durability. Whenever Jamie merges with one of his clones, that particular persona is essentially deleted. Unfortunately, this even happened with an infant clone Madrox created in the past, which is a poignant example of this limitation. Colossus. Colossus, while not the most powerful mutant, boasts exceptional durability with his organic metal skin setting him apart from the crowd of formidable heroes and villains. His endearing relationship with Kitty Pryde adds to his well-rounded character, making him a standout X-Men member. However, despite his impressive attributes, Colossus falls far short of reaching Omega-level status. His resilience can sometimes become a liability, as demonstrated by his struggles against Sentinels and the Hulk. While Colossus doesn't require sustenance or oxygen when in his transformed state, his increased density makes him sink in deep bodies of water. Mr. Sinister. Nathaniel Essex, also known as Mr. Sinister, not only fails to attain Omega-level mutant status but isn't technically considered a Homo superior at all. His transformation began after a fateful encounter with Apocalypse, altering both his biology and his psyche. This event sparked an obsession with mutant kind, leading him to seek ways to become more like them. Regrettably, Essex chose a dark path to achieve his goal, resorting to kidnapping mutants and forcibly merging their DNA with his own. Consequently, Mr. Sinister possesses an extensive array of powers stolen from mutant kind. Despite his efforts, Essex may never reach Omega-level status, and he remains in the shadow of Apocalypse. Nightcrawler. Kurt Wagner possesses the incredible power of teleportation, allowing him to move instantaneously from one place to another. While this might sound like an Omega-level ability, there are some important limitations to consider. In truth, every time Nightcrawler teleports, he briefly enters an alternate plane of existence known as the Brimstone Dimension. However, his teleportation range is restricted to approximately 2 miles east to west and 3 miles north to south. If Nightcrawler were to ever extend his powers to interplanetary or interstellar distances, the situation might change. Nevertheless, we continue to admire this extraordinary character and his devout personality. Deadpool. In reality, Deadpool is most renowned for his popularity and his incessant chatter. Deadpool relies on his teleportation belt, which he lost long ago, for teleportation, and he's not truly invulnerable. In a nutshell, Deadpool doesn't possess the overwhelming power that Marvel vs. Capcom may have suggested. Nevertheless, Deadpool's humorous antics never fail to elicit a chuckle, and his R-rated films have made a significant impact at the box office. These factors contribute to what fans refer to as popularity armor, a fan-created concept that grants characters a form of invincibility as long as they have a devoted fan base. However, it's important to note that popularity armor doesn't elevate characters to the status of Omega-level mutants. In fact, there's only one mutant whose popularity armor surpasses Deadpool's. Mystique. Raven Darkholme possesses the extraordinary ability to perfectly mimic another person, down to the smallest detail. This remarkable skill enables Mystique to infiltrate almost any facility on Earth, incite conflicts among mutant factions, and even orchestrate coups from within. However, there are certain limitations that prevent Mystique from reaching Omega-level status. While it's true that Raven can mimic the physical appearances of others, her powers are only superficial. She cannot replicate the unique abilities or powers of her targets, which can make her easily detectable depending on her chosen mark. Undoubtedly, Mystique's most potent weapon is her intellect, which has enabled her to devise complex and intricate plans in the first place. Wolverine. Although it may never be officially mentioned in the Marvel encyclopedias, Wolverine's most potent ability is his popularity armor. He is arguably the most iconic and recognizable X-Men character, even though his power set may not be as impressive as some of his peers. In essence, Wolverine is a fierce Canadian with retractable claws and a skeleton made of metal. Furthermore, one of his archenemies possesses the power to manipulate metal with his mind. Despite his immense popularity, Wolverine is not classified as an Omega-level mutant. Nevertheless, fans continue to adore him, perhaps even more so because of his limitations. While most individuals would flee from a battle they knew they couldn't win, Logan, on the other hand, unsheathes his claws and charges headlong into the fray. Wolverine's popularity armor may be substantial, but he has undoubtedly earned our admiration over the years. Cyclops. Despite less than stellar depictions in the films, Cyclops is far from a joke in the comics, games, and most animated shows. He is one of the original X-Men, serves as the team's leader, and has even taken on the role of headmaster at the Xavier Institute on occasion. However, none of these prestigious roles were handed to Scott Summers, he had to earn them. While he may not be classified as an Omega-level mutant like his wife and firstborn son, that hasn't prevented him from accomplishing remarkable feats, such as destroying Sentinels, confronting Magneto, and briefly harnessing the cosmic power of the Phoenix Force. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has introduced us to many mutants, leading some to believe they are the most powerful characters in the entire universe or even Omega-level mutants, despite not reaching that status yet or ever. Popular characters often contribute to this perception. Subscribe for more top 10 videos.